it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters, and we ain't got nothing to hide.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome back to Pregaming here on Sports Money. Monday to Friday, 6 p.m. Someone told me turn the light on. Gotta turn the light on. Gotta get rid of that little glitch in the screen, and we got it. It's gone. Out of here. See you later. Bye-bye. Let's have a big Tuesday night, everybody. Thanks for coming in and hanging out with me as we bust up this card. Pretty decent card tonight. We got a nice little college basketball feature slate. Lots of ranked head-to-heads and some divisional conference battles. Just a 4-game NBA card. Just a 4-banger. But we still have 3 plays in the 4 slots of the NBA. And then a great NHL card tonight here. We're going to start off with some early action and then kind of see how the card materializes. Worked out pretty well for us last night. All in all, though, yesterday could have been better, for sure. The NHL did us, I don't know. This wasn't a great card all around. Holy Cross gets busted up. 4.5. They lose by 10. They tied it up at halftime, too. I think it was pretty close to tied at halftime. Couldn't finish it out for us. Let's see. Highlights. Look at. Where's Nasty Nate? I told him. The Rockets probably a live dog. 114-112. They cashed that plus 6.5 for us. You know, we might have to do a wellness check on Nasty Nate because I did message him and say I should have taken that live bet or that money line bet. He dropped it in the chat. I saw it. And I should have taken it, but he didn't respond. No response. Memphis got beat up by the Knickerbockers. That was ugly. 143-106. No Ja Morant showing up for that one. Scotty Barnes gets his double-double. That was a big spot out there. Incarnate Word goes clearly under the number. But the big news, the Mikey Monet combo, the collab, the Mikey Money, Ramon, Scott running so hot, collab cashes for us. Ohio State minus 7.5. Busted them boys up. Busted them up. We were on that one nice and plentiful. And the good news, we've got ourselves another collab tonight. Another little Mikey Monet collab tonight. And let's see. Yeah, Irish King says Houston wasn't going down without a fight. Certainly we're not. It was a good spot. We nailed all the reasons why. Once they cover, they don't cover the next game. And they probably lose. Late night there, we did get the San Jose under 6.5. I sent the message out there. I sent the plays out for the silver and gold package. It was Arizona minus 2.5. It was never in doubt. 86-75. I got one too cute. I added the Clippers to the under 224.5. I love that under. I don't believe in the Suns. But the Clippers were not able to get it done. So a little one-on-one spot there as well. Anyways, we got to fight back. We got work to do tonight. And speaking of work to do, you guys have some work to do. You got to get out there and like some of these videos. Sub clubs out there. We got 2 soccer videos for tomorrow. Action in I don't remember the games here. Barcelona game. We got action in the Barcelona game. Atalanta. Got action in that spot as well. Unless they're playing Atlanta. And then it's Monaco. I know there's action in Monaco, too. There's 2 games out there. There's 4 plays on 2 games for you guys to go check out. 3 of them are plus money. You're going to want to go check them out. At the very least, go pop them open and hit the thumbs up button for us. That would help us tremendously. It takes time to put these videos together. Doing them for you guys to get that cash. But the big news, obviously, is tomorrow, 2:30 p.m. We're going live. Champions League. We're going to have the fellas here. We will have Ramon Scott. He's been running so hot. We will have Subhuman Gaucho, proud sponsor of the Sub Club. I'll be there. And of course, our man from down under, Dan Doherty, will be rocking in with us as well. for a good 4-pack of afternoon action. And it's going to be exciting. I think all 18 games will go off at 3 o'clock. I believe it's all 36 teams in action will all pop off at 3 o'clock. And they're doing that so they don't game out the system. You don't want to see that this team won, so now we're not going to try because we want a better seeding. They're getting rid of all of that BS by popping them all off at the same time. So the 4-pack of squad here will be eyeing up every single game that's taken place. We'll give you our best bets early. We'll start a half an hour early. We did fairly well last week with our best bets. But it's live betting. It's all eyeballs on the screen looking at the scoreboard, trying to find a way to pop these bookies. And that's where we've done tremendous as well. So get yourselves ready. 2:30 tomorrow. You're not going to want to miss out. What else we got? Yeah, VB MMA and Ramon Scott. They had a 4-pack panel today for UFC. The fight night is actually a fight morning. If you're on the East Coast, it'll pop off at about 9:30 a.m. Saturday morning. That means we'll be going live at 9 a.m. to give you guys our favorite best bets in the prelims and talk about the card. But VB MMA and Ramon Scott got the team together today to do an early breakdown. 3 fights they're giving you guys their best bets on. We'll be back tomorrow for First Strike to give you our 4 best bets with the panel. And what else we got? What else do we got? Feels like that's about it for now, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Kinda, sorta. Thursday Night Live? Sure. We make a lot of money live betting. Why wouldn't we do it? So, and on top of that, you guys, the little announcement there I made last week and continuing forward, we gave you guys the sample for the extended plays, the silver and gold packages, starting in around November and rolling through December and into January. If you haven't done so already, take some time, become a silver or gold member. Check out what those packages entail. And we are, of course, viewer supported. We need your guys' help to grow this thing. We need it by thumbs up, donations, and memberships. A lot of you guys were gifted bronze level memberships. That's halfway to what you need to get to be a silver member, and you won't miss out on any of these extra plays that we pop out there. So far, so well this past, since we've put the inception in place for those members, and just a way to say thank you. We appreciate everybody that's rocking with us here, but a lot of you guys reach out for extra plays. This is the best way to do it. A lot of people say, I'll tip you if I win, and nobody tips. They don't do it. So for the rest of us, and everybody kind of talked about it, this makes a lot of sense for us to put our heads together and take some time to give you guys some extra looks to cook the books. And appreciate you guys that do understand and support it. This stuff ain't easy. It takes time. And we're happy to share our best work with you guys. But the first and foremost we need is the thumbs up button. So that point of the show right now. Close the comments, hit the thumbs up, pop the comments back open so we can get to work here. And we've got some work to do this week. So I'm excited. I've got 2 parlays, I think. 2 parlays in tonight's card for some nice plus money scores. And we're going to attack some plus money spots as well. So show some support. Appreciate you guys taking the time to do just that right now. Smash that thumbs up and we'll get to work. What am I, mouse die? Wireless mouse has got the worst battery in the world. Some of you guys have asked, how do I become a silver or gold member? You go down to the comments there, you'll see right to the right of it's that little $, and it'll prorate you. So if you do increase, if you do upgrade your packages, it will prorate you. I know a lot of you guys have asked for it. You guys are asking for these extra spots to get involved with. We want to share them with you. This is the best way we figured to be able to do just that. So, appreciate you guys working with us as we do that. So, you know the deal here. Let's get to work. Get these best bets in the chat so we can see what you guys are rocking on here. I know I made some money with some of the plays I wrote down with you guys last night. I'm tempted to just throw it. Let me know if you guys want me just to throw the dart at the board. I think I found an auto fade. I think I did. I'll tell you what. I'll share the auto fade with you guys anyways. We'll just keep our eyes on it for the next. I've been keeping my eyes on it. The auto fade's profitable. It dawned on me. Maybe I ought to auto fade some more. So we'll see. We'll see if we do just that. I don't like to do that. It kind of seems like it's bad. It's bad juju. But man, I notice it and it's like, every single time. Getting too cute. The few times I listen to somebody else and it's like, man, this is why I don't listen to anybody else. That being said, though, I do listen to you guys. And you should as well, because the best damn chat in the business assembles right here, right now. We've all been marinating on the card all day long. It's time to give the best bets How we getting paid? And Joe T's going to pop back in there as commenter numero uno, and he's telling us after your under play of the day, his assault on the unders does not show any fear. He's going Ducks and Krakens first period over 1.5. He had a good one yesterday. I know he got that. I think he got them both. I know I sent him a message and said, great job on that first one. Joe W's in the house. Kenny Wood's in the house. Jeff Jones is in the house. He's got Oregon State Gonzaga over. Expecting a bloodbath and point fest in the Oregon State Zags game. It's a big number. It's a real big number. Over might correlate to Oregon State. I was kind of thinking Oregon State. For the late nighters. Stop Geo Engineer. He's got some action for us. Austin Reeves over 6.5 assists. Man, I lost an assist bet yesterday. You know what's funny? I was thinking, shout out to you, Stop Geo, for putting the assist bets in there. I was thinking, who did I have yesterday? It was a little side note. I'll tell you who I had. And I was putting it in, and I was like, rebounds, I think I'm good at. Points props, of course. I mean, Braun crushes it again. I think I'm pretty dialed in there. Oh, it's Anthony Edwards over 5.5 assists. He stopped short. I think he had He had 4 or 5. I know he didn't get there. I know it was a loss. I'm like, damn, man. So shout out to you giving us the Austin Reeves over 6.5 assists. That's a TNT game. We'll talk about how to play that second game. You guys have heard me say it before. Kind of inspired me to take a look today on another angle that I like to share with you guys here when it comes to betting strategy. Let me see if it's out there yet. It's not. Okay, let's go. Ronnie Lofton's in the house. Lexicon says, that's why I banned Celtics weeks ago. Man, you got to just get on the right spot with them. You can play them. You just got to find that spot to play them. And typically, if they cover by double digits that following game, they ain't covering. Let's go. Rick J says, you guys called that Boston game. Oldies in the house. Philly Eagle Flyer. I hope you weren't downtown causing a menace down there after that Eagles W. Man, those streets were packed. Rick J says, how are you on any first period overs in Blackhawks game? I mean, I'm not traditionally a first period guy. It's a great question. And I've caught it a couple times. Like I just blindly tailed some. It's like minus 150s and stuff like that. So it's a parlay piece for me. But now, man, once everybody knows the secret's out, it ain't a secret no more. They should be able to go pop in the face, though, wouldn't you think? Tonight? Wouldn't you think? That first period? I don't know. Chicago starts early and then drops it late, kind of like the Sabres do, but man, that could be some good money tonight. Philly Eagle Flyer says, live bet, cost, cash for tomorrow. Oh, let's hear it. Dale Fick says, Arizona never in doubt. Knew a half quarter. I'll tell you what, Dale Fick, I was fearing it a little bit. And then they went into overtime, and that's where dogs go to die. Guys, keep your eyes on that. When you see, lower ranked teams, the same thing as we talked about with college football, lower ranked teams rolling in on the road and they're a dog, you're not getting a discount. A lot of people got trapped on that one yesterday. Now, look, it would have cost the same as a loss as it did for a win. But it was a half quarter. So let's just be humble. Let's take our money and let's move it forward today. There's Perky in the house. He's got some looks for us here. Zuby, 8 rebounds. Like San Jose University. Money line at minus 108. Oh, St. John's. Sorry. I know San Jose's playing San Diego State later tonight. I had my eyes on San Jose State with a bunch of points out there. St. John's. Let's play this number to every game this season but 2. Okay. Shout out to you, Perk Man. Let's go. There's a guy spending penny bombs his back. Says, what ugly day on the hardcore. Yeah, a bunch of guys all around. No one wanted to get it done. Yeah. Sadly, I had 2 double spots away from cashing. I was like a 6,500 to 1. I only had a couple bucks on it, but I had goal scorers. Oh man, I sent it to my brother this morning. I was like, dude, this is how it started. And I showed him the 2 guys that didn't get it done. I was like, this is how it ended. Everybody else cashed. 9 legs. Damn. All my goal scorers cashed, if that's any solace here. Rick Chase says, I know line is moving for Colorado, but they got manhandled by Arizona State last time they played. Kelly McInnes is in the house. Says, don't make offense I should, but I have a paid member by Sabres. Let's go, Kelly McInnes. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. I see you sending some comments on X. It's all the same, brother. It's all good. Appreciate you rocking with us here. Mr. Bombs is rocking with us here. Spenny, I got to connect with you, man. There's something that I'm going to reach out to you about that. Ramona and I were kicking back and forth for a contest, so I want to connect with you on that. But I'll message you. Says I'm going to net today. Guy had 3 field goals. Should have shot 10 plus points, plus 225, 15 plus 900. Let's go. There's Keith from each and every stride rocking with us here. Let's go, you guys. Peter Grassi is back and ready to go. Appreciate you coming in, Peter. You guys rock, man. Thank you guys all for hanging out with us, doing this thing. Boldy says, breaking neck and cashing checks. All good. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Lexicon says, I'm going to upgrade my membership here soon. Appreciate you doing just that. Let's go. Gonzo says, what's up, everyone? Let's cash. There's Thomas Maggio's in the house. You got Golden State minus 11. Parlay Georgia, Louisville over 122. Georgia, South Carolina. Something doesn't add up as I say that out loud. I messed it up. I'm sorry, Thomas. Let me put it on the big screen. Let me put that on the big screen for everybody. And spending bombs coming in with the Lakers same game parlay. 7+ assists for Maxey, 7+ assists for Reeves. There's a coordination. There's a correlated spot with our man. Rui, 7+ rebounds. I saw Rui got upgraded. And then Oubre, 7+ rebounds at plus 1,400. There's Nasty Nate. Look at this bag of money he just cashed out there. Celtics second quarter. KP over 3s. Pritchard points over. Did you take the money line Rockets, though, Nasty Nate? Did you take the money lines Rockets? Bo Jackson was dialed in. He said, how about them Raptors? Yeah. Yes. Raptors got her done. Scotty Barnes, double-double. I knew if they were going to win, he had to do something. Yeah, that was good stuff. Good call, Bo Jackson. I love it, man. You guys are, I told you guys yesterday, Bo Jackson, not a fade to fade his Raptors. He played them. They cash. Nasty Nate, what do we talk about? The secret sauce. When he's not throwing the smash out there and he's got player props in there, you got to look the other way. You guys got to pay attention. We got our resident team experts coming in here sharing the way they play them. We've cracked the code. Maybe we're sharing the secret sauce, but that's okay. It's amongst friends. And we got our guy, Spenny, coming back here. Same game parlay. Sengun, double-double. Thompson, double-double. Trey, double-double. Okongu, double-double. Plus 1,000. 10-1. Spenny bombs. Shout out to Robert McCormick. Thomas says, I like Hawks, but didn't play it yet. Lean Pit money line. Colorado money line. Bo Jackson says, Rockets can win, but Hawks to cover. Okay. Let's go. Joe T. rocking out there, trading some messages back and forth. Ronnie Lofton. Jovic and G. Grayson Allen. Points props have been money. They've been an auto bet for me since a couple of weeks ago. Rick J. San Jose State, right? San Jose State on that one. There's been a covering machine lately, and San Diego State has not. Yeah, a couple guys got some double-doubles last night, just not enough of them, Spenny. That is for sure. Thomas likes Colorado. Spenny says the Utah game, late bunch of guys out. I'm waiting for Kyle. Filipowski props will be looking double-double. Man. Look at you guys, man. You guys get me jacked up. I love it. You guys, I appreciate you all taking the time to do the work to come in here and be prepared to share some looks, some angles, even some spots that you want to get involved with here. And then we can talk them out aloud amongst the group. That's what we're here for. That's what this community has been built on, the foundation of getting everybody engaged and trying to build our bankrolls. And if we got best bets and strategies and angles to work with, then we certainly want to do just that. Rick J loves the over in the Sharks game. Luckily, I didn't take 4.5 live last night. Yeah, we had the under, but then I parlayed the Sharks with it. A little bail out of trouble. Robert Franklin laddered that Braun points to 21. Nice payout. And nice, dude. All right. Man, it's one thing to say him. It's another thing to bet him. That's where it got me in trouble. So I was saying that to our guy Gonzo the other day. I was like, man, I had a bunch of the right spots. I just didn't get the right ones on the screen. That means I didn't, sadly, I didn't play all the right spots either. But it's okay. Juggler 23 is our dude coming in here. Says Milwaukee coming into the game off of back-to-back and playing their third road game in 4 nights. Milwaukee have gone under the totals. 12 of their last 13 on second leg. See, that's the old grab the pen. Sounds good to me. Thomas Maggio says Texas A&M, but big spread. Baylor too. Marcus Carrasco says, "Que pasa?" What's up, my guy? Good to see you, Marco. Rangers money line, Bruins money line, Caps money line, Vegas money line. Okay. Okay. Sanchez says, love to see that Mikey has a play on the Lakers game. I got 2 plays in the Lakers game. Not 1, but 2. I got a deuce up in that Lakers game. Juggler22 says, Blackhawks 15-1 to the over. First period, yeah, that's the first period trend. Everyone's been banging away on me. I think I might have only cashed on it twice. You know, this is what's tough because early in the day, capping's an individual sport, right? We do our thing. We look at the spots. We kind of find our angles. Then we break them down. And then we come back in here. It's the sounding board, right? It's the last look before we try to cook the books. And I'm just that guy. When I see the entire world talking about it, I want to go stand on the island. I've been on the island so much now. We got a damn near 4-story house built. You can see all the way to the other side of the world. This island's got such a nice place on it here. We got our own garden. We're raising chickens. We're doing it all over there on the island. We good on the island of fucking Pimp Slap. So it don't bother me to be on my own island. But let's get to work. Let's get to work here. You guys, I love you guys sharing these plays. Thank you so much. As I mentioned, we got a lot of things cooking. And look, we got to get to the core of this thing is building it based off of winners. I'm going to put this betting strategy out there in a video. And then we'll test it. We'll see if it's something you guys, if you watch, if you support it, it'll kind of be evergreen because it'll stay out there for a little while. But it has to do with handicapping the late night hockey games based off the Grand Salami. So I don't know if you guys I've talked about it before. You know, tonight's not the best night for it. I was waiting to see if I could get the line and show you guys kind of how it is that I look to attack it, but they're not putting a sides puck line out there. So I can tell you the home goals are screaming. They were minus 112s. It's now minus 125, which if you can leverage this thing the proper way, as you look through these games throughout the evening here, if we see a lot of away teams scoring early, then those late teams are going to fire late. So that's kind of the way the salami, that's just an or I'll put it together and put something around there with some examples on the screen, but something that I've been trying to keep an eye on as well. And just trying to share with you guys for those late night spots. If there's a game that we don't cover, or you guys are doing some things on your own and you missed the show, but you still want to get some action when you get home and you're not sure where to go, there's some quick little hitters to, potentially help you get yourselves to the right spot out there. So let's go. Time to get going. Yeah, Joe T says you got to get on those first periods over the night before. Yeah, I'm not usually capping all day for the day because I'm not that big of an early guy. Although I will tell you, I already put a bet in on the 1.5 for the Eagles, plus 1.5. I expect that probably, most likely, they'll become a favorite by the Super Bowl, and then I'll be whacking them again and again and again and again because I don't see them losing in this game. But that's a different story. So generally, that's a 2-week out spot too. So that's on a book that I don't utilize that often. All right, I'm ready. I hope you guys are ready. It's time to get to work and get this money. We got to get this money, man. Got to bounce back here, down a little 2 spot from yesterday, and I don't sit right. So let's get her going. Let's roll the sleeves up. I'll roll my sleeves up. It's a little chilly. I'm only going to go partial roll up because it's a little chilly. And I'm going to start with Buffalo and Boston. Let's go right to it. We got Swayman. Sway, man. And he's average. 2.94 goals against average, 89.8% save percentage. He's 16, 16, and 4. It's 500. But he's bad, and he's trending up. Those are the big factors. We talk about it time and again. He started out the year 3+ goals against average, and his last 2 games, they picked up W's. And his last game against Colorado, of all teams, he finds a 3-1 win. He stops 27 to 28 shots, 96.4%. We try to find these goalies on the uptick. And they've gone out there and they've already shown no fear of beating up this Buffalo team. Now it's Buffalo. So let's pump our brakes. We know they're not fighting for the Stanley Cup anytime in the next 10 years, but maybe 9. Maybe 9 years from now, it'll be their year, but still going to get the Bills there. The Bills are still 3 years away. So we got Jukka-Pekka Luukkonen going on the other side. He's 15, 15, and 4. But he's got a 2.99 goals against average and an 89.7% save percentage. Now, the Sabres have lost 4 of their last 5. Luukkonen allowed 3 goals on 24 shots and a 5-2 loss to the Flames. Boston outscoring opponents 5-1 and on a 2-game winning streak. It's as simple as we can look at this thing. Boston's goalie's on the up. Sabres goalie's on the down. Boston's team's finding some dubs. They've already shown success. They just beat a tough squad in Colorado. Sabres can't score. They're on a losing streak. And this number's wacky. I don't get it. I don't know why you're doing it. I can tell you this. Buffalo's 3-7 their last 10 games at home. They're 3-10 their last 13 at home. So they don't have a decided home ice advantage. They're 0-5 when they play at home against Boston. They're 0-6 when they play at home against Boston. They're 1-12 in their last 13 games at home against Boston. They're just 2-19 in their last 21 games at home against Boston. If the goalie battle makes it 50-50, and I share all those numbers for you right there, then what's the reservation and why is the number the way it is? Probably because the Bruins aren't playing so great on the road. They're 3-10 in their last 13 road games. They're 1-4 in their last 5 if you want to zoom in just a little bit more and try to see what the hell's going on out there. But I'm going to take a whack at it. I don't believe in the Sabres. I believe, it's funny. I said last week, Swayman's going to start. He can't be bad forever. Well, I guess he can be, but theoretically, he's still in the NHL. He might not be the best goaltender in the world, but his numbers are on the improve. He's got greens across the dashboard when it comes to his ability to go out there and manage the game on a day-to-day basis right now. And it's good enough for me. We'll pop off. We'll see you ahead. And if we can get ourselves Sabres score first, we're going to fire again on these Bruins. That's the way they roll. The Eagle Flyer likes the octopus. I get down with an octopus. You guys know what the octopus is. Same player to score a touchdown hits the 2-point conversion. That's 8 points, 8 tentacles, 8 phalanges, 8 things popping off the edge of an octopus is why they call it the octopus. I had to look it up. I didn't know. I bet it anyways, but I didn't know. Now you all know what the octopus is, and why not? Why not? Especially if you see Jalen Hurts is live for the octopus. Tush push, he rolls out to the right for the 2-point conversion and pops it in there in himself. So is Patrick Mahomes. In fact, I know it's super early to talk about some of these props, but probably the best prop I think you can get on right now is Travis Kelce's over receptions. I think they got it pegged around 5.5. I think he's gone up to as high as he's just got a ton of mark. He was low at the end of the season. He's on the uptick right now. That was one I kind of circled today. Receptions. The Eagles allowed 11 to Zach Ertz. I think it's 9 that Kelce got that last game. So kind of overlay the two of those. Not a bad time. Philly Eagle Flyers says Hurts at the last time. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Why not? Why not? Best line. Jake says best line on FanDuel. Jake, we have moved the best line factor to the Fanatics Club. When the Fanatics' smaller book has the best numbers, got to be on the lookout there, at least when it comes to the mainline sports. Now, we've talked about soccer and UFC. Fanatics can give you guys some nice numbers, but keep your eyes on Fanatics for sure. Rick J says Kelce for sure. It's funny, I was speaking, and then I saw Kelce for sure, and then all of a sudden I said for sure. That's how impressionable I am. That's why I cap individually throughout the day, because I'll see it, and then I'll say it. And it's hard not to make it sound like it's my own, even though it's not. Shout out to you, Rick J. Appreciate you, man. Let's go. Game number 2 we're going to move into here. We'll pick up this pace here. We got a lot to cover. As always, never enough time. The Avs and the Islanders will pop off here at, I believe this is a 7:30 start. And I don't know if I got too cute with this one. I hope I didn't. I can tell you that the respected Sharp Bettors report is showing the under in this game galore. And I kind of get it. I mean, it's Mackenzie Blackwood and Elias Sorokin. And they're both kind of, they're not quite as bad as the situation. It's hard to look at Blackwood's stats. We've said this time and again. He's got a 2.62 goals against average and 91.5% save percentage. He's definitely better than Sorokin, who's got the 2.75 goals against average and a 90.4% save percentage. The big difference is Blackwood had to tow the damn sled for them San Jose Sharks. Sorokin's been sitting over there in Islanders land since the start of the season. So I think we give the goaltending edge to the Colorado Avalanche here. And they just had a nice little win over the Rangers, a non-quit win. Here's the thing about that non-quit win. The first game that they were rolling over here on this East Coast trip, that was where they made the big trade. They're trying to fit those pieces together. They were kind of getting the square peg round hole that first game. I took them. I shouldn't have taken them. I should have just recognized the first guy to star player. You're trading off Taylor Hall. There was a lot of movement. Last game shows that movement starting to fit together. Blackwood, look, 3 or less goals in 12 straight games. Now he's 93.8% over that stance. 91.5 overall, and he was floating around 89% when he left San Jose. Can't be any more clear that goalie is on the uptick. But 3 or more goals allowed in his last 4 games, so he's got some work to do, and I think that's why they sat him. There was a little sickness going on around the locker room. On the other side of things, the Islanders have won 4 straight, and they're outscoring teams 13-5. Tricky spot here. It is revenge. I was talking with our boy Gonzo earlier today. He said, how's that revenge? Well, they lost October 14th. It wasn't just the manner in which the Colorado, I believe we were on the Islanders. Because that little 3-leg Rangers, Devils, Islanders spot for Colorado traditionally has not fared well. And you look back at the stats, you can validate that. But they lost 6-2 against the Islanders. Tricky. Now, I get that the Islanders are outscoring opponents. When they're at home, they play that stupid, ugly, press them down low defensive game that yields no goals or low-scoring goals. This revenge spot's a little bit different. This isn't the traditional you lose at home as the favorite, you go on the road and you're a favorite. This one's a little different. When you're the home dog and you're on a 3 or more game winning streak, Islanders have won 4 straight. We know it's tough to get to that 5th game. 3 or more game winning streak. You're playing a non-conference opponent that's on a 1 or longer game winning streak. Colorado just beat the Rangers. 6-22 are teams in the Islanders position, and 9-18 to the under. I want Colorado. I think the pieces are fitting back together. You can't quite, that's the art and the science. The science will tell you, yeah, the Islanders are outscoring teams right now. But the art will tell you they just brought in a significant amount of pieces to try to tinker with this lineup to push forward in the second half of the season to make the playoffs and go on a run. So you can't quite quantify that, but you got to throw your gut around there a little bit. I think Colorado's a great spot here in this rematch spot. And it's, back in October, but it was 6-2. It wasn't like a 3-2. We almost got him, boys. We'll try next time. Better luck. No, they got embarrassed. 6-2. Now they had injuries. There was all kinds of factors going on in that circumstance. If you look back at that game profile, this is a Colorado spot. And this is an under spot. So the only way I could think to attack it was getting some big money out of this thing here. Going to have some later bets in the NHL. But from the early slate, I didn't want to rush to this card in its entirety. I just want to kind of see how the pieces start to fit together. And I thought plus 225 on the under 6. It's a lot of 5.5s out there. So I'm getting that extra half a point, which leads me to the push. And even if it gets to a 6 and Colorado wins, then we're still going to cash around a minus 130. So it's all good. Just hope I'm not getting too cute by parlaying these two together. But I feel good about it. I thought these were some good spots. Looking at these goaltending profiles and the situation with the teams and the lineups that they're in, I think we can see a Blackwood go out there and shut down this Islanders team that's outscoring opponents. And if they do outscore them, or if they do shut down an outscoring team, that means that they're led there to get the W. So give me Colorado. Give me the under 6. Give me a plus 225. Sub likes the Islanders plus 1.5 and the under 5.5 at plus 166. Well, a 4-2 game is going to screw you on that, my friend. But we'll see. We will see how it works out. Spenny says, took some flyers on non-quarterback throwing touchdown plus 2,800 and offensive lineman touchdown plus 3,800. Just a couple fuck arounds. I like it. It's always fun to have some of those spots, isn't it? Always makes the game a little bit more interesting. I saw that teams that wear the white jerseys have a 66% chance of winning in the last 52 games. Was it 52? Oh man, there's some. Was it some Jumatra? I don't know. There's some fun stuff going on with that game too. I saw. So we'll see. We'll see. Let's go to college. Let's move on. Let's get this thing going. Got lots of stuff to do tonight, so don't want to keep you guys unnecessarily long here. Let's go to this Kentucky-Tennessee game. Why the hell not? What a spot. You know, these are one of those favorite spots that I try to find and smack away at here. Let me pull the cash flow information up here for us. Lots of games, lots of open screens. It's always fun. Always fun. Kind of like South Carolina against Georgia. But Kentucky and Tennessee opened up 8.5-point road dogs with Kentucky. It's gotten steamed. They're up to 11s. 78% of the bets and 62% of the cash. Big spot with the under. It opened at 148.5. It has come down. You got to shop this one because there's still a couple books that are hanging on to 148.5s. But I see 145.5s out there. So shop, depending on how you want to get involved with this one. 73% of the bets and 71% of the cash are on the under. And it's coming down. So fair warning. What is it that I like so much about these spots? Well, we got Tennessee, just went on the road as a 6.5-point dog. They lost 53-51. They had this little 3-1 run going before that. They just trounced on Mississippi State. And they've been sitting around for 3 days, coming back home, having a taste that stink. On the flip side of things, Kentucky's struggling. The big spot for Kentucky was that Alabama game. I think they blew their gas in that game. They lost 102-97. They were fighting in that thing pretty much the entire time. And Alabama just bested them at the end. It was a score fest. And then we saw the carryover game. They got to go. That was home. They go on the road to Vandy, and they just gassed out. They were 2.5-point favorites. Vandy beat them up by 5 outright. But I love those spots when we see the better team having to sit there and stew on that loss, and they're coming at home. Well, you know what happens. They fucking take their shoes off and beat them with them. That's exactly what happens in these first halves. I'll tell you, there's a couple of corresponding trends that I looked at that kind of brought me to this number. First of all, I love the spot. I love that situational placement there. They took the loss. They had 3 days to sit around and think about it. They're going to be at home. Home teams, revenge angles. We got a couple of those tonight, so get ready. Home teams in revenge spots versus a ranked opponent off a road game versus a ranked opponent. That's Tennessee. They're 42-21 in those spots. Revenge off a road game against a ranked opponent. So there's no step down in class, essentially, is what that's saying. And they're ready to come and meet the challenge. Tennessee also, when playing ranked opponents, are 11-0 to the under if they've got less than 5 days rest. So that essentially means it's not an anomaly. It's not like they had extra time to work on crazy game plans or they're starting off the season. This is just in the run of the season, and we've talked about a couple of these trends. In the middle of the season, everything being kind of the way it is, when they're playing ranked opponents, their defense and game shines. Well, if we have the trend leading to the under, we have the movement on the line going towards the under, and we tie it and correlate the favorites with under movement, it's got to be the Tennessee spot. It's a lot of points, though. This thing's moved to that 11, and that got me just enough of a concern to say, I'm going to take this first half at the -5.5. I think the motivation and the revenge angle is enough for them to start strong. I like the game under. I like Tennessee as well. What I thought about doing was taking a little tricky parlay, bringing it back down to the 8 or even 7.5, and then coordinating a smaller under, a higher under in there to get it around -110. That's just a little too much juju for what's going on here. Let's just take these guys to come back motivated after that loss, and we've seen when they're in the run of the regular season, they step up. They meet the challenge. They got home court. They're ready to go. Going to be fun to see what that one looks like. Rick J says UK is banged up with injuries. I agree. I just like Tennessee to come back here fired up and pissed off. And that's my assessment. But now that's my art. We have the science to back it up that shows those trends and those numbers that go along with it. So I'll keep, one of the things that's kind of made it to the point where I'm at with gambling is being able to leverage both of those. And sometimes it's more art than science. Sometimes it's more science than art. VCU and St. Louis, though, a battle of A10 adversaries here. And this is going to be a fun little game. I'll tell you, the A10's been hard to make for me right now. The teams that I like in the A10 from traditional years past haven't been playing as well. Teams like Bonaventure are getting busted up as well. I don't know. It's tricky situations going on here. This line opened at 4.5. It's moved. It was 5.5 and 6.5. There has been subtle buyback. Now we're seeing some 5s. So you got VCU -5. You got 62% of the bets, but only 37% of the cash. So my assessment tells me some big better somewhere came through and dropped a couple of dimes on this St. Louis game here just in the last little bit. This is an 8 p.m. start, so we still got a little time to see how this line moves and if it does eventually get itself back to 4.5. 142.5's moved as high as 145 despite 71% of the bets and 71% of the cash on the under. So we got to move it over despite the under. We just talked about it. Overs, that means the dog's hanging in there, and that could be tricky. I wonder about this 5, though. Oh, excuse me. I still see 6s. I see 5.5s and 6s across the board. That 5 could just be Caesars gumming things up. We know Caesars is sleeping when it comes to their API and feeding into these systems. Let me take a peek. Let me put my peepers on this thing for 8 o'clock. It's kind of important. Because that late lineman has been, it's not. It's not. We're still in the right spot. And I'm going to tell you this. Well, let me save it. Let me save that. Let me share with you some trends here. We got some intersecting zeros before I get excited. First of all, St. Louis is in a revenge spot. When they're the dog in the revenge spot, they're 0-15. They're not just 0-15, they're getting busted up by 15 points. First of all. When they're the dog roll, with a line less than 9.5, and a total less than 161.5, in other words, not expecting a blowout and not expecting high scoring, defensive slugfest, St. Louis is 0-7 in those spots. It's VCU that brings us back through. This is the best one. This is where you buy low. They're 14-0 in the favorite role after shooting less than 46.2% from the field as a favorite. So they kind of sandbagged that last game. And when they put a line on that next game, the buy and low is because they shot so poorly that they're kind of giving us 1 or 2 points maybe in our back pocket when the algorithm goes out there and scrapes the game for a number. And they're outscoring opponents by 16 points in that spot. A less than great shooting performance as a favorite, now a favorite, 14-0 against the spread, and they're winning by over 16 points a game in those spots. This is the Mikey Monet collab special. 1-0 after yesterday's Ohio State game. Ramon and I discussed it. We're on this VCU -5.5. So if you're buying into our Monet Mikey special here, we're 1-0 with Ohio State. Yesterday was a comfortable win. We're going to go back to it today with VCU. Give us a little VCU action in our lives here to make it happen. Ron Lofton likes VCU. Let's go. Juggler 23 says, gambling gods, 5-unit play tonight. Flames over 2.5 goals. Team total. Oh, no. Caps get the middle finger in one of the next 2 games. Well, that's why they're on the shit list. All right. The guy I thought was the auto fade was on the Calgary team. It wasn't you, Juggler 23. It wasn't you. But he's on the Calgary team total over 2.5. So I guess I won't play it. I guess I won't just blindly play it. I will root you on, Juggler 23. Because that's what friends do. Kelly V says, Juggler, Washington's goalie just got paid. Still like to play, question mark. Big O says, it looks like there are maybe 2,000 people at this St. John's Georgetown game. No home court advantage. Something to remember on a weeknight in D.C. Thomas Magic is shouting out Ramon. Robert McCormick says, confirmation bias is always nice. He got it at -5 a little bit ago. All right. Dana Delps in the house likes Michigan State, Minnesota over 140. All right, I got 2 more spots. What happened here? All right. I have 2 more spots. I just don't have I don't have a graphic for this one. That's okay. It's going to be the UNC game. They're playing Pitt. Pitt is shit in my estimation. You don't know what Pitt team's going to show up. That's how I started this cap. When I was looking at these guys, I thought, man, I've seen Pitt lose some games that they should have won and vice versa. They are at home, so there's something to be said for the home court, but is it enough? You know, they just had a battle against the Cuse. The Cuse is loose, and they always drain each other out. Seems like when these 2 teams play each other, it's a drain fest. Here's the thing, though. 9% of the bets are on Pitt, meaning 91% of the bets believe Pitt is shit. But the cash, man, the big cash, taking a whacking, a monster whacking on this. I mean, it's 83% of the cash is on the Pitt side. Are on the Pitt side? Is on the Pitt side? I guess I'm going to struggle with that until I officially look it up on on Google. And I got too much to do that. So nonetheless, it goes from 3.5 to 2.5, and all that money has come in here on this side. Now, when you see all that money, you got to question yourself going, all right, well, it's a tighter spread. What's the money line doing? Well, the money line doesn't have any correlation to that hocus pocus that's taken this Pittsburgh side of things. It went from minus 176 to minus 134. 82% of the bets on the money line for Pitt. They're saying, I'm not going to lay the 2.5, just give me the money line. But 45% of the bets are on Pitt. The lines come down 42 cents. Oscillated on the money line for UNC. Oscillating meaning it really hasn't done anything. Went up a cent, went down a cent, went up. It settled right back to where it is. It's like a ball, like a golf ball that kind of oscillates around the hole and then falls right back in. The total has dropped 2 points from 154.5 to 152.5. And you have 88% of the bets and 83% of the cash on this under. I mentioned the Pitt performance out there. That was 77-73. That was a must-get spot for them because Pitt, when I mentioned what team, I could have told you they were going to show up. They just didn't win. Syracuse and Pitt is like your worst nightmare if you're an upstate or Western New York fan. It's just two teams that play each other, and it's like blue-collar ball. They never really have any – well, Syracuse obviously had some stars at one point, but it's just ugly. It's grimy. 8.5-point game. Pitt's coming into the Dome, and they get 77-73 win. They do not cover the spread. It's an issue. They lost 4 games before that at Duke, Louisville, at FSU. I mean, they're getting blown out. They're 2.5-point favorites at FSU. They lose 82-70. UNC, on the other hand, was a home game, and they had their hands full off of that Boston College game. It was 102-96. I think these two teams are dead even in matchup. I mean, the Tar Heels can score. They're 82.5 points a game. That's 29th in the country. UNC can score. I hate UNC. I hate Pitt. I hate Duke. I hate that whole stretch, just for what it's worth. If you're thinking about getting me a jersey for one of those schools, don't do it. Give that money to charity. UNC isn't a great three-point shooting team, so think about that. They score 82.5 points a game, but they're only 32.3% from the three, which is 267th in college basketball. Bottom 100 in college basketball from the three. Then they get to the free throw line, 75%. That's 75th in the nation. They rebound at a top 100 pace, 34.3%. They like to run a fast pace. That's why they score. They're a fast-paced team. Now, normally I like to get on the defense that's stronger in those fast-paced games because you've heard me say it before. You miss a bucket, you come trotting down the court the other side, you go out there, you fire that bucket, and game. Not in this case. Pittsburgh's defense has been struggling. 71 points a game is 174. They're like dead middle of the college basketball record right now from a defensive perspective. And they lost to Florida State and Louisville, as I mentioned. They can score. This game could have a high-end total to it. Their defense, though, man, they don't even rebound. I mean, 32.1 rebounds a game is good for 204th in the nation. So you got a team that likes to control pace, handle rebounds, does free throws well, just doesn't shoot the three very well, but they're in the paint and they're physical in UNC. And you're playing a team that just got their lucky to pick up that Pittsburgh win. I'm going to take this spot. I jumped in on, I was looking for the graphic. I jumped in on UNC. And here's the thing. So sometimes we look at these spots with these games, right? And I talked to you guys about the nickel rule. And usually it's the nickel saying, lay the 2.5 instead of taking the money line. Well, that's in the favorite spot. Here's a situation in the dog spot where I don't think you lay that 2.5. So, for anybody that's not aware, for every half a point, we associate a nickel with it. So if you're getting 2.5 points, that's 5 nickels. 5 nickels is 25 cents. Meaning, if the money line's a minus 110 and you add 25 cents to it, it should be a plus 115. Well, here we got a situation where we can pick these boys up at plus 125s. punt that 2.5, take the money line score, and if you can get a bigger number on it than that, go for it. I think UNC has enough to outgas these boys here. Again, coming off that physical battle, you can't see that on paper, but Pitt and Cuse, doesn't matter if they play football, basketball, hockey, or anything else, they're regional competitors. They're competing for talent at the top level amongst this little tri-state triangle of misery that I've talked about before. And I think this is a great spot for us to take this opportunity with UNC for all the aforementioned reasons. I got a 123. You can find 125s. I mean, some of these books, like Circus got a 130. I can't play Circus, so, I can only give you the number I took, which was 123. And again, the nickel rule supports us taking this money line, not the 2.5 spot out here. So I'd go for it. I'd run with it. I think it's a great price tag. And if you want to feel a little bit more, I mean, it's one basket. We talked about this. I think it was Juggler 23 that mentioned this yesterday. When the books don't know what line to put on it, so they toss a 2 out there, take the road team. Seems like those guys win more often than not. This kind of correlates with that movement. So we got 2 games left here. 3 games left. Did I fuck this all the way up? I guess I did. There you go. Here's this play. Get my clicker back in the right direction here. Okay. Some of you guys aren't. I saw you guys in the chat earlier talking about this spot, but we'll give you some trends. You know the deal. You know how this works. 91% of the bets are on Baylor. Whoa. That's not a red flag right there. The public loves their road dogs. How many times have we talked about that? 3.5's moved to 4. But only 18% of the cash. And what have the books done? They moved it from 3.5s to 4s. There's 4s out there now. Betting world loves Baylor. But the sharper bettors, the bigger bettors, are coming in pounding it on BYU. And BYU sharp bettors won because they've moved it a 0.5 point. 143.5s have dropped down to a point, maybe. You can still find some 143s out there. 73% of the bets and 73% of the cash on the under. Look, we'll keep it simple for you guys. Last game's out there. We look at these spots with these 2 teams, and yeah, BYU back-to-back wins. One on the road at Colorado. They come back home. They handle Cincinnati. What's impressive about the Cincinnati W is just how significant they play defense in Cincinnati. The Cincinnati spot's got a great under on it tonight, by the way, incidentally. And we got Baylor coming in battling after back-to-back wins. This will be the second road trip, second leg of a road trip for Baylor. I always wonder how much that matters because, they're college kids. So they got fresh legs. They're probably stopping back home in between. But look, team shoots great, covers the spread. You want to sell high in those spots. That's Baylor. 0-9 is the dog. Shooting great is defined as shooting over 40%. Covering the spread. Got a 4-point whacker out there. They get her done. 0-9. That's sell high for Baylor. Now you want to fade the public in the major conferences. Big 12, SEC, Pac-12, ACC, Big 10, and Big East. You got a total between 128 and 146.5. Kind of average numbers, right? We see a lot of 133.5s, 136.5, sometimes 141.5. It's kind of in that average number in a major conference. Fading the public, 605 and 471. You got less than 24% of the bets, less than 24% of the tickets being written. That constitutes fading the public, and that's on the BYU side of things. Furthermore, I got one more for you. This one was great because it kind of dovetails that first spot there where Baylor shooting better than 39.5%, covering the spread, 0-9. Flip side that, we're selling high on Baylor. Home teams on homestands versus bad shooting teams are 67 and 18. Home team, homestand, bad shooting team. That means Baylor overachieved last game, which further complements our sell high situation on Baylor. It's 7-3 in its last 10. I'm on BYU. Taking some BYU action to close out the college basketball card here. And I feel pretty damn good about that spot. I was going to save that one for later to see how this line moved. I just want it now. I don't care. Give me BYU. Bust up this Baylor squad. I think this Baylor team's fraudulent anyways. We'll see how it works out when it's all said and done. Kelly V says Baylor isn't good this year. Yeah, they're not shooting well. I mean, that's the fundamental of basketball. If you're a strong shooting team and you rebound, you can win. That's kind of that UNC look. So That's going to get us there. We've got 2 games in the NBA. We'll move fast here because these games are going to pop off shortly, as always. We got the Lakers and the Sixers. I'm laughing because as you look at this game and you start thinking, like, yeah, the Sixers had themselves a nice little win streak, but they weren't going to lose forever. Big thing for me with this game is the Sixers threw up the red flag with their injury analysis or their depth chart for this game. This game went from -4.5 to 5s. We got 59% of the bets and only 55% of the cash on the Lakers. It has moved a half a point in the Lakers' direction. 4.5 to a 5. 218.5 on the total. Oscillating. We got 2 18s, 2 18.5s, and 2 19s out there. You take your pick. 86% of the bets and 78% of the cash are on the over. I mentioned their recent performance. Yeah. Shout out to KV. We were talking about the hot team, the hot city. And yeah, they beat up Cleveland 132-129. I didn't say beat them up. They were 9-point dogs, though. Outriders. Hot city. Then they take on Chicago Bulls. It's the Bulls. Settle down. 109-97. The Lakers, on the other hand, have ripped off 4 straight wins. They beat up Washington, Boston, Golden State, and the Hornets. 4 straight wins. This will be their 3rd road game. Sixers coming back from a road game. Sixers have had kind of a shit. This is that shit schedule spot that we talk about. Shitload of road games. You drop back home for a game. Then you got to go back on the road for a game to Chicago. Now you're coming back home. It's just like exhausting travel this time of year. We saw Rui is probable for this game. Christian Wood will be out. Vanderbilt will be out. Vincent will be out. But all the dogs look to be running. And why? Because it's a TNT game. You know LeBron and Anthony Davis are attention whores. You know they want to be involved in this game. You know who doesn't? Well, indeed. He's out. I haven't seen the official confirmation, so I'm somewhat reluctant because they might fuck around with like a Paul George. To me, it doesn't. To me, it's a situation where I want to get involved in this game, and the way I'm going to attack this game is twofold. The first spot that I'm taking in this game is I'm going to take this Lakers team in the first half. Part of me in my back pocket thinks these guys could just come out there and trounce this Sixers team. It is TNT. These boys should play. They should show up. They should be ready to go. And all those shoulds mean shit if that second half rolls around and we get the back door opens up. I know it's a small number for the back door with 4.5s or 5s, but give me the Lakers to come out here strong. And if they want to sit AD and everybody else, it's only going to matter in one variable. So I got the Lakers in the first half. Now I'm going to tell you, I am going to parlay the Lakers and the Rockets money lines. I got a plus 131. I'm going to fuck around with those points. In case the back door opens up because the Lakers beat up on the Sixers so much or they decide some late minute roster fuckery. I want them to start strong because it's TNT, and I just need them to win the game. You want to go out there and win it by 1 because of a free throw at the end? That's your business. I'm going to fade Atlanta. Why am I fading Atlanta? Because they're bad. We talked about them being at home and bad at home. Yeah. Not a good team. They've lost 5 in a row. The Rockets have won 3 in a row. We talked about the Rockets being one of the best road teams. Atlanta's point differential stinks. It's minus 2.7. Houston's point differential is great, plus 5.8. The point differential means their average score against their opponent. If you're on the plus side, you're winning. If you're on the minus side, you're losing. The Rockets are second in the West. The Hawks are 9th in the East. This to me is just all Hawks. The question is, how do you get involved in it here? I'll tell you, Houston's an advantageous spot because you got Atlanta. They got that 5-game loop. They're just not winning. And you got Houston off that big W with some motivation. But again, do I think they cover the spread? Am I worried about the back door coming open? Maybe just a little bit. I just think the West is more dominant than the East this year. We've seen that the parity amongst those Western Conference foes, and I think they can come out here and do just enough to gas these guys. Whether or not they beat this game outright is one thing, but I also got to go in and say this is a lower scoring game. Why do I think it's lower scoring? Well, first and foremost, when I look at the total, the fact that it's not a 237 or a 241 for Atlanta is a problem. That's telling you everything you need to know right there. Furthermore, we look at these two teams. The line opened up at 5.5. It's kind of sitting right there still. I think you can get some 5s. Let me see where this 5 is. I see some 6.5s out there, though. Oh, no, you can't get that 5.5 anymore. No. 5.5, 6.5 are the numbers that I see out there now. 66% of the bets and 61% of the cash on the Rockets. It's important to take a second to look at that just because of the situation and circumstances. 227.5 on the total has moved up to 228.5 now with 88% of the bets, only 86% of the cash on the over. So we got a little bit of a scoring differential, a little bit of a couple of sharp bettors popping in there saying this has got a little lower scoring affair twisted to it. And I bet you they're looking at it the same way I am. You know, this is a situation where why is this total like that? If the Hawks were favorites, they're gassing overs. They're 14-5. They're sub 500 though in the dog roll on the total. That means they're not winning, right? Unders and favorites, they're not winning. They're dogs and they have a shit record. So that substantiates all you need to know there. Furthermore, you know, when you look at the Rockets, yeah, you know, they're 17-13 to the over on the favorite spot, as I mentioned. But being that second leg of the back-to-back to me just kind of says they come out here, they try to handle business early. They kind of play around with their food in the second half a little bit, maybe. Doing just enough. They get tired of slapping around this Hawks team. You know, we do have back-to-back overs for the Rockets, but we got back-to-back unders. 4 of the last 5 games have gone under for the Hawks. Their offense is gassing out. With the exception of Toronto, you know, they got a 119-110 Knicks game. They got a 114-104 Detroit game. They did put up 119 against Toronto, but they still lost that game. And I say with the exception of, because we've already talked about the Six and what they do. Then the second leg of the back-to-back in Toronto, they only put up 94 points. Now 92 points. And it's going down, 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 down. I'm on the under. I got to spot this team here. I think this number opened up low for a reason. Low in correlation to how this Atlanta team typically plays ball. So that's going to be the way we do it. Here's the Sixers lineup. Maxey, Gordon, Oubre, Edwards. Who the fuck is this guy? Yabusele? Okay. Is that the pretzel guy? They're starting the pretzel guy tonight in Philly. Love it with them Lakers. Let's go first half. Right there is where you saw it. Here's where we're going with it. This is going to be the last spot for the NBA. And going to try to put something together. So we'll see. Silver and gold members, be on the lookout. I'm going to try to put a couple more plays together just for the later slates here. There's a lot that was going on. Spenny says he's the French guy. Oh, that makes it better, Spenny. I think I know who he was. I just saw it on the fly, and I was like, what? Well, and he was tucked in there right at the very end. He plays center when Embiid's out. Okay. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I mean, a good thing that Embiid's out, I guess, right, Spenny? Ramon says, yabba dabba do. I love you guys, man. Thanks, everybody, for coming in here, rocking with me tonight. Hey, let's have some fun. Let's make some money. You guys, I mentioned the TNT process. Remember what we talked about last week with the TNT spots here? I don't make the rules. I just follow them here. And if you get the dog that wins or an over, the second game, you're looking at the favorite that wins or an under. So do your cap and do your due diligence. Those are the TNT rules. I don't make them up. We saw cash last week. And it's very much the case when you look at is it the Bucks? Are the Bucks? Man, TNT probably going to be asking for a refund after these games here, right? Yeah, the Bucks and the Blazers. My guess is that game goes over. My guess here, maybe the Blazers win this game. If the Lakers win this first game, the Blazers win that second game. Don't ask me why. I just told you. That's the way we're going to get down with it. Be on the lookout, you guys. I appreciate you hanging out. Get to work. You guys got to hit some thumbs up. I need you guys to get out there for us. The 2 Sub Club Soccer videos, the VB MMA Pick Show. Get those plays, man. That's between those 2 right there. There's 7 or 8 different spots to get involved with and a whole bunch of plays from us here tonight. On behalf of Ramon Scott and the Sports Money Network, thank you guys for checking us out. You know, the Morning Steam will be back tomorrow at 9 a.m. At 2:30, we'll be rocking live for all 18 of the Champions League soccer games. We'll be back for pre-gaming at 6 p.m. and we'll finish her off with the first strike, getting you guys ready for UFC Fight Night out there. That will be live at 9 a.m. So you see the way we do this. We build up through the week and unload for the weekends here. I appreciate you guys rocking with us. Good luck with those bets, and we'll see you guys again tomorrow. Appreciate everyone.